Hello, the football fans, hello, the fans of the channel. You're welcome to the show. So, we're talking about Nigerian Super Eagles, talking about transfers made by Nigerian Super Eagles players and other players eligible to play for Nigeria, giving scorecards to moves. And I want to know your own thoughts and opinions about that as well. So, if you're new, please smash the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go on. And obviously, I like to give my thoughts and opinions, but I want to know your own thoughts and opinions in the comment section. So let's dive straight into it. Yeah, so a lot of transfers have happened in the past couple of weeks involving Nigerian players. So the most recent one of those has been Raphael Onyedika to Frankfurt. Made the move from Club Brugge, which I think is a very good move. 10 million euros. Just excuse me. Yeah, so 10 million euros moves to Frankfurt. There are probably interest from Saudi Pro League, but he chose to go to Frankfurt, and I'm happy that he's gone to Frankfurt. I'm happy he's gone to the German Bundesliga. I've always said this: it's not just about making a move, not just about big money move, but it also is about the league you go to, the club you go to, and the opportunity that you get to play, to have sizable minutes, to get significant minutes. Because going to a big club and sitting on the bench is pointless, except you want to make the money, which is fine. And for Nigerian players, while for me, I don't have any issues with players going to the Saudi Pro League on a normal personal basis because Saudi, they're beginning to build out their league. That have one way you understand that they're building out their league and it's working is they're now able to trade with Saudi Pro League players. I mean, with Premier League clubs, with European clubs, and that wasn't the case with the China thing. When China came up with this Super League, what you would have would be once the Chinese club bought the player, that was it. The player would remain there and just his career would end there. But simply with the MLS. But what you see right now with the Saudi Pro League is they sign players and then the players play for some time in Saudi Arabia and then they leave. They still pull interest from clubs out, in mainstream Europe to get these players. And we just saw Newcastle got the Al Hilal, the Al Ali coach, to be their new head coach. He used to be with RB Salzburg, with Al Ali. Now they've signed. That's to tell you that the European clubs are trading, are dealing with these coaches, and that's testament to what the Saudi police would have done. But on the flip side of things, Nigerian Pro League, there's one issue that I do. I mean, the Saudi Pro League, there's one little issue I have with players going there, is the whole media setup, is the whole media narrative about players, especially Nigerian players. If you go to Saudi Pro League, even from within the Nigerian media, you hear, oh, he's gone there just to get the money. He doesn't have ambitions. You hear the same thing from European media. And that would just make it difficult for any player that has any ambition to come back to mainstream Europe, to build a career even for himself. So I always say this: I would never overly criticize a player for going to a club to earn his money, to earn his daily living, to change the life and story of his family forever. But I always say this: if you still have any ambition to play in mainstream Europe, you want to still win Champions League or things like that, Premier League titles, then remain in Europe. That has been my opinion on it. But let me know your opinions on Onyedika going to Frankfurt. I think he's going to get game time to play there. He's going to be well packaged in that league. So if he does really well, maybe he ends up at Bayern Munich or Dortmund, or he could even end up in the Premier League. That's how it just works. That's why when I keep saying this, for Nigerian players, or especially wingers, go to German Bundesliga. It's not like I have any deal with this league. I wish I did, but it's not like I have any deal with them, or I just know how football works. I just know how the German Bundesliga teams, package players. A player could be bought for 1 million euros, this summer window, and then by in the next 6 to 7 months, that player could be worth 20, 25, 30 million euros. And so for a player like Raphael Onyedika, that was bought for 10 million euros, probably would end up being what, 20, 30, even not 40 million euros by the time the Premier League club comes around. And one thing about football is the more money a club spends on you, the more chances you're given to play. So happy days, he's going to Frankfurt. That's a good move. It's an upward move as well. It's not just a move that, it's not a lateral move. The Belgian league, a very good league, a decent league as well. But he's moved from there to the German Bundesliga, which is an even better league, an even more accomplished competition, a tougher tournament, playing with better players, playing against better players. So that will just help raise his stock, raise his value. So good move for Raphael Onyedika. So, but let me know, thoughts, opinions in the comment section. Which of these moves has really, really caught your fancy so far? What do you make of Raphael Onyedika's move to Frankfurt? What are your thoughts and opinions about it? I want to know. Let me know what you think. Now, another move, several moves have happened, so we'll be talking about all of them, or at least we will be having discussed in and around these moves that these players have made. So there have been three key moves that we need to look at now. Yeah, there have been three key moves. Thank you so much, Sombrero FC11. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for the gold coin. Thank you so much. Thanks for your continued support. Always coming on the channel, giving your thoughts and opinions on things, and contributing to the growth of the channel. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, new to the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go on. Yeah, I think I would disagree with you on this one, Sombrero FC11. He says Onyedika's move is not an upward one, but a decent, at least to the Bundesliga. I think it's an upward move from where he's coming from, right? He was in the Belgian league, and granted, one thing I would say is that with respect to the Belgian league with Club Brugge, they're always in and around Champions League, Europa League football, and Frankfurt not so much for most of the time, but they do qualify for European competition. The German league is a better league, and the value you would get for that will be attached to a player for playing in the German Bundesliga is way higher than the value that will be attached to a player playing in Club Brugge. So it's an upward move for me, in my humble opinion. I see your point. Maybe Club Brugge in the Belgian league, they're higher. They will finish higher up the table in the Belgian league. You look at them and you say, okay, this is a team that's expected to compete for top honors in the Belgian league. So I get that bit. And as opposed to Frankfurt, because of the power of Bayern Munich and Dortmund being, fairly consistent, they don't really get a look in terms of competing for the league. So it's Bayern, and then maybe after 10 years, Dortmund, and then by some strange machination, maybe Leverkusen, something like that. But for Frankfurt, not so much. But in terms of the league is gone to, I think that's a good one, in my humble opinion. So thanks so much for your contribution to the channel, Sombrero FC11. Thank you so much. So now this move, we have to have a look at it right now. So three key moves that have happened. Zadok Yohanna to Brighton. For me, I think that's an A+ move, 100%. And I think once the AFCON comes around, Zadok Yohanna should be in that squad. It should be in that squad. That's how I look at it. I think it should be in that squad without a shadow of a doubt, because one thing we can all agree is that that right-hand side rather hasn't been pinned down. No one has held it down. Chukwueze has been inconsistent. He's talented, but he's been inconsistent for way too long for people to just say, you know what, we are just going to rely on him as the main guy on that right-hand side, right? So Femi Aziz has come in as well, so he's been fairly impressive, in the Youth Cup games that he could play. So talks about linking to West Ham, and West Ham are favorites to gain promotion back to the Premier League. So maybe it would be a good move for him to go there, but although I'll prefer an actual move to the Premier League. But for Zadok Yohanna, an A+ move, just progressing gently. Ikonala went to EIK, joined up with, and now joined Brighton for a record transfer fee for a Nigerian player, moving from the Swedish league. So good move for him, exciting player. He's one that I for sure, like I said, Super Eagles, he should be in that team. He should be in that team. I know people say, oh, you're hyping him too much, he's too young, da da da. The question I always ask when people come with that sort of remark is this: who is the guy? Because you need to have someone in your team that is way better than you say, okay, we've got this guy that is so much better, than Zadok Yohanna, so he shouldn't be there. Or you shouldn't even be saying we have two guys that are so much better than him. One gets to start and the other is on the bench, and he therefore has no opportunities to play. Chukwueze, who is meant to be the number one guy, is very inconsistent. Femi Aziz, fair play to him, he's coming and he's taking his opportunities, scoring goals and creating goals for his teammates as well in that Unity Cup game. And I, for one, was disappointed that he didn't get to play in the Poland game. But still, I think you still need someone like Zadok Yohanna to come in because he's skillful, he's dynamic. While Femi Aziz doing the business, you could have him come on in second half or even start games because he's proven. And for me, when a player proves himself right, just like we say in a lot of Nigerian local phrases or parlances, if a child washes his hand well, he can eat with kings, right? So he's basically washed his hands well. He's played well for Ikonala FC Academy. He's got the attention of AIK Stockholm. They signed him up there. He performed well for the academy. He got the attention of Brighton and lots of clubs, Chelsea, Newcastle United, and now he's gone there as well. Training, you can see he's doing the business in training. So you're asking yourself, you should be telling yourself that, come on now, this guy, he should be one of the ones that should be in that Pamoja 2027 World Cup qualifier and AFCON qualifiers when they come around in and around September. So that's my opinions on that one. And then we go to Tolu Arokodare. For me, this is where his redemption arc should start, in my humble opinion. He's someone that's come to the Nigerian Super Eagles off the back of his excellent form for Ghent, yes, off the back of that excellent form. And lots of people giving him a lot of stick. I, for one, wouldn't say he was sparkling, but there are good aspects to his game, good aspects to his play. And I want to say that it feels like I say this a lot of times on this show, on this channel. And that's a lot of players, a lot of the time, we misprofile players. We think, oh, striker is a striker. Oh, he should do the same thing as this other striker, right? Victor Osimhen is one of one. Speaking of Victor Osimhen, I'll talk about one player that kind of reminds me like him, a new kid coming up, on the block. Maybe not on all fours with him, but kind of similar to him. But so keep watching the channel, keep smashing like and subscribing to the channel, and let's go. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. So for Tolu Arokodare, this is redemption arc because Super Eagles, I don't think he was that bad, but people just say, oh, we don't want to see him anymore, drop him off. No, he's gone to Wolves. He went to Wolves and didn't have the best of times on Wolves. But the big question there, the context you need to add to the back of that is, who at Wolves had the best time? No one. The whole team was poor. The coach was poor. The coach refused to play the team to their strengths, which is one thing that seems to be a theme around football right now. Coaches are refusing to play players to their strengths. They want to play this midfielder in this left back position. They want to play this striker in this odd position. Tolu Arokodare is 6'6" for crying out loud. Put the balls in there. Give him service. He's someone that can hold the ball up and bring others into play to his strengths, but he didn't get to shine there. And he's already scored his first goal for Ajax in a preseason game nonetheless. So I hope this is redemption arc. Like I always say with footballers, improve your CV, update your CV. And he's taking one major step to update his CV. And I would say this is an upward move. Why would I say this is an upward move? Because Wolves, they got relegated. He's going to play Champions League football for Ajax, and he's going to be the main guy. He's going to be in a team that is dominant, that for most games will be expected to win. So it's a good move for him. I think if he scores, football is fickle. Football is fickle. A lot of people are saying, why are you talking right now? If Tolu Arokodare scores 15 goals or 20 goals for Ajax in all competitions, which is very, very possible, what you could see is, oh, we want him back in the team. Or you could see from Premier League clubs would want to go on there to sign him. So if you're enjoying the show, let me know your thoughts and opinions on what we've discussed so far. Frankfurt completing the signing of what's his face right now of Raphael Onyedika. His opinions on that sort of move, I think, is an upward move. Some very SC11 disagrees a bit. He said, maybe not so much. So, Akban, good morning to you as well. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you on here. So, Akban, what do you make of the transfer of, first of all, Raphael Onyedika to Frankfurt and the transfer of Tolu Arokodare to Ajax, and of course, Zadok, Yohanna? What do you make of their transfers? Let me know. And one name I want to speak about as well, although his own transfer was completed since January of this year, and that is Sani Suleiman. He is someone that I'm excited about. Got to really see him play in that under 20 World Cup. He was very, very good. Speed, ability to go on either foot, to go out on the left side, put the ball in, going on the inside with his right foot to take shots or into crosses. So lovely play by the player. I just enjoyed watching him play, and he was one of the bright spark, if not the brightest spark, in that World Cup, in that under 20 World Cup. So happy he has made the move, and I'm praying that Yando Mande's move gets done, gets completed, and he gets to own one side of that flank. And of course, although former Nigerian eligible player Antonio Nusa has been drawing interest from other clubs. We talked about Liverpool, talks of, I don't know, Arsenal, some other club being interested in his services. So he's one player that, if he moves, will free up more space in that team for Sani Suleiman. But he's one exciting prospect that I want to see. I want to see what he does from this point on till in and around when the international break will come around again, whether he will be able to do enough to get himself a spot. Because let's face it, I said it, Ademola Lookman, yes, world class. He owns that right wing, the left wing, sorry. And Philippe Otele is coming in as well. Let's see how he's able to make that second spot his own. But Sani Suleiman, for sure, if he does have a spectacular start to his German Bundesliga season with RB Leipzig, I think he could put himself, put himself up there for selection, put himself in the shopping window. At least he wouldn't be doing himself any disservice whatsoever. So let me know your opinions about that one. And very soon we'll come on to talk about some other bits of transfer news. Yes, Akban says good to me. Yeah, that's a good one. I agree with you on that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So let's now talk about these two players, these two youngsters. First off, I want to talk about Abdoulaye Adeleke. Abdoulaye Adeleke, the player that plays for Supreme FC, and there are certain reports making the round that he signed a pre-contract with Chelsea and will join them when he turns 18 years old. Now, I've watched this boy. I watched him the Wafu B game where Nigeria took on Burkina Faso and unfortunately lost 2-0. We'll come up to talk about some of the issues that came off the back of that game. To talk about some of those issues there. But when I look at the player, when I look at the way he plays, I just feel like, yeah, Nigeria might be onto a good thing, right? Might be onto a good thing, just like how they're onto a good thing with. We're onto a good thing with Victor Osimhen, right? He's someone that likes to put the press on. He's someone that likes to be aggressive. Doesn't mind dropping into midfield to see if he can get the ball. But he's pacey. He's powerful. I think his favorite foot is his left foot. Very good. He's good and decent in the air. He has very good attributes, and you can see why a club like Chelsea could be linked to him now. Am I saying he's going to start for Chelsea? I don't think so. Maybe he gets to play some academy games, or maybe get loaned to Strasbourg, as is the Chelsea policy at this point in time. They sign players and they loan them off to Strasbourg. So when I look at the guy, I say, yeah, he has something good about him, and I think under the right circumstances, under the right development pathway, I think he can come good. And that's one thing I always say when I talk about agents. Yes, he's done a brilliant job if you're able to link him with Chelsea. If Chelsea have signed a contract with him, and hopefully he gets to sign for them. But then, what is the plan for the player? Because looking at the Chelsea team right now, is he going to go in there and somehow start? I don't think so. So if he's going to go on loan, what is your plan? Have you figured out a German Bundesliga club for him to go to, or a top Belgian club for him to go to, or a top Dutch club for him to go to, where he will have game time? Because at 18 years old, you want him to be playing. So have you figured all this out? Have you figured all this out? You say, okay, we are going to make sure he gets the best move to go somewhere and really play and thrive and develop his game and also build on his value. Have you done all that? Now, and then the other one, of course, I've talked about him before. If you haven't seen that video why I say he is a Nigerian Erling Haaland, I'm not mincing words. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to overhype any player. I'm just saying it. He is Nigeria's own version of Erling Haaland. He has all this, to a lesser extent, all the strength of Erling Haaland, and as well has the weaknesses of Erling Haaland. Now, let me explain what I mean to you, what I mean by this one, right? What I mean by this is, now, Erling Haaland, when it comes to being little in front of goal, he's brilliant. When it comes to holding up the ball comes to him. He holds up the ball, he makes life difficult for defenders, lays off the ball to his winger, makes the runs into the box, the right intelligent runs, scores. Abdoulaye Agbejoye, he has that ability, So, but he's playing at a lower level, so I get it. Yeah, but as he continues to develop his game and moves to bigger and better clubs, bigger and better things, then we begin to judge. But as a profile, he is a similar profile to Erling Haaland. But then the weaknesses that Erling Haaland has is the same weakness he has, right? If he's playing for a team that is not the dominant team, he's going to struggle because his skill set or his ability attributes are speed, power, little finishing. So if he's playing for a side that struggles to keep possession, that struggles to create chances for him, at least struggles to create chances for him, that's going to be a problem. So like in the Waffle Cup game versus Burkina Faso, it was so upsetting for me, and I feel it would have been very frustrating for him and Abdul Muiz, because Abdul Muiz played in that game as well. And that's one issue I'll talk about later on as it goes. Don't worry, today we'll talk about a lot of things: transfer, Super Eagles playing tactics, Nigerian football, the lot. We'll talk about a lot of things on here. But with respect to him, it was so frustrating. The midfield is almost like they were joking. They were not showing real intensity, and the coach went with this two-man midfield again. I don't see anything wrong in playing with the two-man midfield to begin with. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? If you're playing with the two-man midfield, it's okay. If you want to play a three-man midfield, it's fine. If you want to play a five-man midfield, it's fine. But do you understand what you're trying to do with that five-man midfield, with that two-man midfield? If you're playing with the two-man midfield, you need guys that are, how do I put this, that are stubborn in the very best of ways. You need gangsters, for lack of a better phrase, guys that can go both ways. Guys that once they step on the ball, they can progress the ball with pace, with aggression, ball carriers. That's what you need when you're playing with a two-man midfield. You need players who have enormous tanks, right? That can get the ball and go. That can help kickstart the attack, stop the attacks of the opponent, and quickly kickstart your own attacks. But in this midfield, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. This Waffle B game, the last game in that group versus Burkina Faso, I didn't see that from the Flying Eagles, unfortunately, right? And that's why someone like Abdoulaye Agbejoye kind of struggled a bit. Now, Abdul Muiz is kind of like an Osimhen type profile, although he's not on the level. There's certain things that Osimhen does that is just an Osimhen type thing. They just keep pressing like a workhorse. It's just like an absolute mad workhorse. That's Victor Osimhen's part of his play. That's part of his gift, right? So you could see Abdul Muiz having to drop back into midfield, trying to get the ball and things like that. Abdoulaye looked alone, isolated for a lot of that game, and it boiled to the fact that the midfield had an issue, and that's why I keep saying, if you see a striker dropping into midfield to get the ball, yes, it's good that the player is doing it, but it means that the midfield isn't doing his job. And so I'm just saying it. I'm keeping it 100. I'm trying to be I'm keeping it 100. I'm not just hyping the player. He is good. He is excellent. He is a super player. These are two wonder kids that Nigeria does have right now. Sort of, they may even become the solution to Nigeria's striking issues, because we have been saying this, that yeah, Victor Osimhen is world class, world class, right? Victor Osimhen is world class striker. He's the number one guy right now. No one comes close to taking his spot for the Super Eagles. And then Akol Adams have come in and he's tried to, measure up a bit, especially in that support striker role when what's face Eric Chill is playing with the 4-4-2 formation, any variation of 4-4-2, whether it's 4-2-2-2 or a 4-4-2 diamond, right? He's made himself into that second striker, and Victor Boniface could be the other guy. But when you talk about who's going to come behind, Victor Osimhen, like after Victor Osimhen is coming off the bench, who is the next guy coming on? While I say Raphael Onyedika has shown himself to be a decent option, no one really has held down that spot. So, Abdoulaye Muiz, you have a chance, especially not for the AFCON 2027, but although I would love to see it, because I just love to see players who have exciting potential. But maybe when it gets towards competing for that 2030 World Cup, maybe you're going to 2028, towards 2029, maybe they get to play in that in that sort of qualifying process, getting set for the 2030 World Cup, maybe that period. But still, you need to keep these guys within the ecosystem of Nigerian football. And when I looked at, now moving to talk about that midfield thing, and it seems to be an issue that follows Nigeria every level of football. Every level of football, we have an issue with midfield. From the Super Eagles, if you're regular on the channel, you know my opinion on Iwobi and what's his name, Wilfred Ndidi. You know my opinion on those two guys, right? Before I go on to talk more about the midfield, if you're enjoying the show, thanks for joining. Smash like and subscribe to the channel. And I've been talking about some deals that have happened to Tolu Arokodare to Ajax, done. Thoughts, opinions on that one. I think for myself, I think it is a good move for the player. So top backs to him for completing that move. Top backs to his agent for doing a brilliant job, taking him from Wolves to go to play for one of the biggest sides in, one of the biggest sides in Dutch football. Certainly one of the most accomplished sides in Dutch football, and one of the most recognizable sides in European football and world football. That has long-standing ties with Nigerian players like Finidi George, Pius Ikedia, Nwankwo Kanu. The list just goes on, and he's added himself to that list. And the report that they are also interested in signing Nigerian eligible player. What's his face now? Nuwadeji Stenberg. So that's a good move for him, in my opinion. I want to know what you think. Raphael Onyedika has made his move to Frankfurt. I think that's an upward move from Club Brugge going on to play for Frankfurt in the German Bundesliga. I think that's a very, very good move for the player. He can get to play some sort of European football, play in a better league, get to play with better players, get to play where he will be rightfully packaged, and his value and stock would increase and go even higher. So, yeah. And then so Taye Okunade says this. He says, good morning. What about players like Prosper Oba of Shakhtar Donetsk, Uchenna Ogundu of Augsburg, and Friday Etim? Yeah, Friday Etim. I think his loan has been cut short. Midland sent him on loan, but they've cut short the loan, so he's coming back to them. So exciting to see what he will do as well. Iheanacho, and there's a Stanley Iheanacho that signed from ZCD Mafra to Midland as well. I think he's been on very good form for them during their preseason. So want to see what he does. Prosper Oba, gets another winger. So when I see likes of Prosper Oba mentioned, I see the likes of, and then of course Zadok, Yohanna, Femi Aziz. I keep saying it, that what is the point of trying to shift Nigeria away from wing play? It makes no sense to me, in my humble opinion. So yeah, all those are good shouts. Ogundu, let's see how his season with Augsburg goes. I think he's going to do well. And that's another move I'm happy about as well, because I keep saying this. If you're an agent, maybe send me some money. But I'm just joking. Listen to me. Yes, the first thing is to get a player out of Nigerian football into European football. But there should be a strategy. What is your plan? Yes, you've got this player to make this move, to, let's say, the Czech league, right? Maybe you're going to Slavia Prague or to Lessie or Spartak Prague. You've got them to make that move. Now, next, what's your plan? Do I find a way for this player, hopefully he does well, to go to the Belgian league? Then when he's in the Belgian league, he does well there. Do I find a way to get him to go to the German league so his profile builds up? Because don't get it twisted. Bookmark this. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Listen to this. If Ogundu scores 15 goals, let's say 13 or 14 goals this season for Augsburg, he definitely won't be at Augsburg for long. He instantly will leave to a better league or a better club in German Bundesliga. That's just how it works, because these German clubs, they know how to package and use players rightly. So I think that's a good move for him as well. I think he'll get to start. I think he should be starting games for them, and I think he'll score a fair chunk of goals. So that's a good one for him, Uchenna Ogundu. Nice shout, Taiwo. That's a good one for him. Friday team. He's been decent in clubs he's played for. Let's see what he does at a slightly higher level for Midland. Iheanacho as well. I want to see what Stanley Iheanacho does when the season really kicks off in the Danish league. Good move all round. Now, so coming back to talk about Nigeria's midfield. Nigeria's midfield is an issue. Right? From the Super Eagles, so you're talking about Flying Eagles, even the full-fledged Flying Eagles. When I say full-fledged Flying Eagles, because this work will be, I think, is mainly for home-based players, right? Mainly for home-based players, and a sprinkling of I think one or two players that play abroad. But the full-fledged under-20 team, you have issues with the midfield as well. So it seems to be, unfortunately, a running team. Every level of Nigerian football, we have an issue with the midfield. But the thing is, when you look at grassroots football, you see better midfielders, right? So I feel like we're missing out on something. And I've said it before, if you watch this channel, that you can win football playing different ways. Now, you can choose to have a nice defending and then hitting on the counter attack. You need to have this aggressive midfielders, especially when you play with a two-man midfield that can do both jobs, that can defend, that can attack and create opportunities for the wingers to create. You need to create opportunities for your fullbacks to overlap and give your wingers more room to make runs into the box, take on the opponent's fullback and things like that. But in the Waffle game, I didn't see it. And in other games, to be fair, not just this Waffle big game, but other games as well, I've seen this happening where the a winger is it's a lone figure versus two or three players. You can't win that way. You cannot win that way. And the principle of football is universal. So that midfield issue has to be sorted out. The teams, the coaches of these teams, including Eric Thiel, needs to decide, what do we want to do? And for national team football, you can't just do whatever you want to do, because you cannot say, oh, no, I like Adam Wharton, let's go sign him. No. You can't say, oh, I like Rodri, let's go sign him for the Nigerian Super Eagles. No. You must base your style of play based on the players that your country produces, that the country you're coaching produces. Whether it's homegrown players or dual nationals, those are the only areas you can base the players you can invite to your team on. So you can't come with this set mentality, set style of play and say, no, it's going to be this style of play, this is how I want to play, irrespective of the players that are produced by that country. It's not going to work. So if you want to play with this two-man midfield, go and get those road runners, those aggressive type midfielders that can do both jobs two-way, help your defense, providing shield and getting the ball and going up. Because I said two-man midfield is not meant for everybody. So you see that your nice, tidy midfield, number 10, he can't walk in the two-man midfield because he will not have the tank to go both ways. He just will not. So decide how you want to play. And in that game yesterday, I looked at it and I said, wow, what are we doing here? We're making life difficult for our own people, for our own team. So that is one issue that has to be fixed. So speaking about midfielders, so we're going on to talk about one player. I've talked about it so much on this channel, and people like, oh, why you talk about him so much? You hype him so much. It doesn't matter. He's a good player. he's made a very good move, and we're going to talk about him some more on this channel. And there's one other player that made a move back to his former club because his previous club refused to trigger the buy option for whatever reason. Refused to trigger that option. So we'll talk about him as we continue with the video. But we must talk about this player who's made a move to the Italian Serie A. He was in Italian Serie A to begin with, but he made this move, and it's a permanent move now. So it's his home. I think that gives him a good opportunity to be settled, because sometimes as fans of football, we are like, okay, yeah, make the move. We should be playing well, and we forget that if you have an unsettled player, it does really affect. The mind of the player. And once the mind of the player is affected, it does make things a whole lot difficult for that player to give it their best. So I'm happy for Ebenezer Akinsanmiro that he's made this move to AC Monza. And now this is AC Monza. This is a good move for him. He'll get to play there. He brings his tactical intelligence, brings versatility. He'll bring his box-to-box ability into play. And it's this box-to-box ability that has made a lot of people look at him and say, oh, you know what, I think he is a 10. He's not. Redondo was not a 10, but he had the ability, he's a 6, but he had the ability to go box-to-box. Kante was not a 10. In fact, it was not even an 8, but it was the way what's his name, Frank Lampard and Sarri chose to use him that ruined Kante at Chelsea. Kante, Chelsea legend, very good 6, wins the ball, had the energy to go both ways, but people tweaked and messed it too much. So he's made this move to Monza, good move, welcome to Monza. I think that's a good one for him. So finally he has a place where he calls home. It's not alone. He's signed for, it's a permanent deal move from Inter Milan to AC Monza. At some point, Pisa, the club that he was on loan previously, wanted to sign him, and there was a clause there, 7.5 million euros clause to sign him. But for whatever reason, that deal didn't go through. The two clubs couldn't come to any sort of agreement on how it's going to happen or how it's going to be paid. And he's joined AC Monza. So I think that's a good move for him to make that move to AC Monza. Seeing that it's a newly promoted side, I hope he has the game time to play. And I'm sure he has the game time and he will continue to impress on the pitch there. Inter Milan have included a sell-on clause. And when a club sets a sell-on clause, that means they believe in the ability of that player. And they know most likely that player wouldn't remain at the club he's been sold to for long. So good move for him. He's gone that way, and he can show his best there. And I want to see him in that AFCON squad for AFCON qualifying squad come September when his national break comes around. I think it's around the 21st or thereabout. So I want to see him in that squad. And another person I want to see, I'm happy he's made his move back to Getafe, and that is Uche Crisantos. He's made his move to them. Crystal Palace did not trigger the clause because it was meant to be appearance based. And this is what I always say about appearance based clauses. Once a clause is based on appearance, then it means maybe that club isn't going to trigger the clause, because really they can decide that we don't like this player anymore, we're just not going to play him that much. We decide when he plays, and if the appearance means he needs to make 15 appearances in the Premier League, he's gonna make 10, he's gonna make 11, and that's not sufficient to trigger the clause. So not to be dodgy for Uche Crisantos, but happy to be Getafe now. Again, we have to see that could be interested in him, but let's see how that shakes down. Ebenezer Akinsanmiro's move to AC Monza is a brilliant one, in my humble opinion. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. Hopefully he can impress, and the old lady in Juventus maybe come for him later on in January or at the end of the season, or other clubs as well could come for him. I think he is a very, very good player. A lot of people are out on him already. When, for one, Eric Chil didn't play him, and I look at it and I'm asking myself why. So, and I'm sure that's why a lot of people are hanging their hats on to say, oh, but he didn't get to play. So why didn't Eric Chell play? Or maybe he wasn't good in training. That's why he didn't play him. Like we've never seen coaches do that before. We've seen coaches do it before. We've seen coaches do it before where, they would not play a player. We saw Mourinho convince the world that Kevin De Bruyne didn't train well. Although he's trying to backtrack now, and his former players in John Terry trying to protect him and all that. Say, oh, this player never seemed ready to play for Chelsea. But we know Mourinho. I love him as a coach, but we know certain things he does with the players. Mohamed Salah, like it made Chelsea fans believe that he is not going to play. Like he wasn't training well. So yeah, nice one there from Sombrero FC. He says a good move for him. That's a good one. That is a good one in my opinion. And Chief says, tell me it's a lie. That's speaking about the apparent move of or link of Victor Osimhen to Spurs. Well, first off, Spurs offering 55 million euros is a bit of an insult to begin with. If we're just looking at the story as it is, 55 million euros, that's about 40, maybe 41 million pounds, if anything, maybe. So to begin with, and then the outlets where it has come from, they're not really super credible outlets. Now, if we've got this from a David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano or maybe a Di Marzio to a lesser degree or a Ben Jacobs, then you say, okay, kind of makes some sense. But this other guys where it's coming from, I don't believe it. But if they got him, it would be a good one. Well, for Spurs, if they did get him. And I think Chelsea would be stupid not to go in for Victor Osimhen, because if you want to press, that's the guy you go to help you press. And then Sombrero FC 11 says people are using Eric Chell talent ID to judge players. The same guy that kept picking Ekong, Zai to win the relatively costing of games. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue I have with Eric Chell. Like overall, I'll say this. I've been saying it because a lot of people like to Eric Chell is bad, throw him away. Oh, Eric Chell is the new savior of the world. Bow before him and worship him. I'm not in any cult. If you don't do what you're meant to do as a coach, as a player, I'm going to call you out. That's just it. I don't worship any human being. So I'll say this: Eric Chell has been good to some extent for Nigeria, but the way he's chosen to use some players has been awful. It has been awful. Like playing players out of position is one of the biggest sins a coach can commit, in my opinion. And sometimes sticking with players that are not that good because maybe you like them or you feel you want to have them in your team, even when you see that they're not good enough or they're costing you games, and you don't even give them time to rest so that they can even do the 2% or 3% that they can do, you will be a DD. You keep playing them. Zaidu Sanusi, I look at Zaidu Sanusi and ask myself, why is he getting invited? I don't quite understand it. I don't understand it. Like, you watch him, and I don't understand why people don't attack people that criticize Zaidu Sanusi. You watch him, he runs, he crosses the ball, he doesn't get to anybody. Or he hits the first defender, and people say, oh, we crosses, but the object is not just to cross the ball. The object is to cross the ball and let it get to someone, your striker or an onrushing midfielder to convert the chances. So if the crosses don't get anywhere, then what is the point of those crosses? So yeah, so that's the thing from Eric Chell. And then the one game people are using to judge Ebenezer Akinsanmiro, which is just madness to me, is the Egypt game where he played him out of position to begin with. And then people are saying, you know what, if you're a footballer, you should be able to show something. Doesn't matter where you play. Like, look at Gusto. Gusto for Chelsea. Gusto made Chelsea fans forget about Rich James. Not saying he was better than Rich James in that his first season at Chelsea, but the way he played, fans just didn't really miss Rich James because Usually, when Regent will be missing for game, will be missing with injury, fans, the level at that right back will just collapse. But Gusto came on defensively, offensively, 1v1 defending was very good. And then Enzo Maresca came in and said, you know what? No, I'm not going to play you where you're comfortable. I'm going to toss you into the midfield. I will toss you into the midfield, invert into midfield, and just shatter the guy's confidence. And he struggled. So it happens to players, you play them out of position, they are going to struggle. So good move for me, in my humble opinion, that he's made that move. He showed what it's all about. So, yeah. Chief says Chill will have Osimhen playing left back soon. If he does that, probably his riot, he will cause a riot. So I just realized that he wasn't even subbed off the game versus Nigerian Congo. This means Chill allowed him to struggle for 120 minutes. Name of respect, seniority. For me, what was more troubling for me was he played the Gabon game. He played the Gabon game that went into extra time and then allowed him to play in the Congo game for that long. So that's a short of madness for me. I don't quite understand why he does that. I don't get it. So just rough comment, and then I'll go on to talk about more transfer news. If you just joined the channel, if you're joining the show, thanks for joining. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video to people you feel will love content like this. And just to say, we'll be having Premier League reaction shows on here once the Premier League starts later on this month. So stick around for that. Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Manchester City fans, show your color, support your team right here on this channel. But right now, we're talking about transfers that Nigerian players have done this season. So this transfer seeing Tolu Arokodare joining Ajax and scoring on his debut during preseason. Raphael Onyedika making his move to Frankfurt from Club Brugge. I think that's a good move. Sombrero FC. I think it seems like a decent move, but doesn't see it as an upward move. In his opinion, I think it's an upward move. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Is this an upward move for you? Onyedika going to Frankfurt, and then there have been talk linking Osimhen to Spurs, and I've said first of the outlets where he's been coming from aren't super credible in my humble opinion, and then going to Spurs and Galatasaray only wanting 65 million euros is a strange one for me. Spurs going for 55 million euros, that's a strange one for me. If any club is able to get Victor Osimhen for 65 million euros, that would be an absolute steal. The steal of the century, in my humble opinion. So, but I just don't think he will go to Spurs. I want to go to Chelsea, but the way the directors of football work at Chelsea, they're just a clown show. So they may end up not going for him. Rather, I think there's one striker they've been linked with. Is it Ure? I think a Scottish striker. I'm like, okay, really? That striker you want to sign? But anyways, let's see how that shakes down. And we talked about two players that because we have been talking about Victor Osimhen, who is going to be the guy that's going to come behind him. Even while he's still in his pump, who is going to be that guy that comes in behind him to take his spot? Because that second striker spot is Akko Adams, and then I think, in my opinion, Boniface is coming good with preseason, having good preseason with Bayer Leverkusen. He could see himself back in there being that second striker. Could be brilliant for him. Raphael Onyedika is a good guy. He's made that move. We'll talk about his move on the show. So he's made that move to Genk, and I think he will score 15 goals minimum. The way the league is, the way he plays, I think he's going to score 15 goals there. But still, one thing I want to say is that space behind Victor Osimhen is still not secure. No one has made that spot his own to say, okay, if Victor is not available, Namide there. No one has done that yet. So it's open. So Durushimir, Victor Rakbo, they all have to fight for that spot. And though it's a different profile, Areli Porabo is one that could come in and be a different impact. I think he can be an Mbappe style player if someone gives him the right training. And once again, I feel like I have to make this disclaimer each time I say this, right? I said Mbappe style player. I didn't say he's on the level of Mbappe because you never Mbappe. No. I said Mbappe style player, so he can have that kind of impact that Mbappe has had. So during the Union Cup, I observed midfield Samson Tijani, Tochukwu Nadi, Alonso Yusu was more mobile effective than will be in Didi and Nyeka. Yes, more mobile. Out of the last three you mentioned, I'll pick Onyeka, and then from down to Tochukwu Nadi, I'll take him for sure. Samson Tijani shows a little of something, yeah, but I'll pick Ebenezer above him. My opinion, but good shout, still. So honestly, I can't believe Osimhen is at Galatasaray in 2026. Yeah, I can't believe it either. Because for me, I'll just go back a bit. When we had the transfer about Chelsea linking with Osimhen the first time, a couple of seasons ago, I was waiting for the here we go. Oh, they're having discussions. But the moment I started seeing, Chelsea have thought about an option to take him on loan, option to buy, and then reduce his wages, I just knew it was not going to work, because that's just triple levels of insult. One, you're not going to even be on what you're earning now at your former club. You're going to reduce it by almost 40%. And we're not even going to show enough confidence in you to sign you on a permanent deal. We're going to take you on a loan, and the loan fee isn't mandatory, not an obligation. It's an option, and the clause, an option to buy. So at the end of the season, if I'm not up at the end of the season, I would choose to buy you. If not, that for me made no sense. I've never seen that in football, where you see a player, you say, before we sign you, whilst you're stepping into your prime, you need to take a pay cut. So now they work. So talk about more things about Nigerian players and how they are valued and all that. I've done a video about that as well. We'll talk about some other videos too. So yeah, you see this one now from Taye. Taye says, happy for Akinsanmiro. These clubs are disrespecting our youngsters like they too. AC Milan, Vinto Soji, Club Brugge, Abdoulaye, Ghent, Charlotte FC just released Onyedika. Yeah, so that's one thing I want to say. It boils down to one thing I say is, agents, you're doing a beautiful job, right? You're doing a very good job getting Nigerian players into clubs in Europe. But what are your plans for these players once you've got them to make that move? Because I said it, Onyedika going to Charlotte FC in the MLS, that's a burial ground for players. That's why you see the players that actually make the move to those clubs are players who are nearing retirement. They make moves to the MLS. They used to call them DPs, designated player. So as a young emerging talent, let's call a spade, right? For players who are African, right, we already have this issue of people are ready to talk about character issues right off the bat. And a lot of times, these are people that know nothing about these players. And you have big YouTube content creators who on X and all that, who may be Nigerian, but are just in this banter era that know really nothing. They just go and they bash players. Attitude issue. When you ask them what is the attitude issue, they can't tell you anything. So you already have that negative narrative, which for the most part is wrong narrative, right? You have that about you. So when the moment you make a move to the MLS, people say, he's going for the money. The moment you make a move to the Saudi Pro League, he's going for the money. You even go to Galatasaray, he's going for the money. Because there was a point on X where I was having a debate with people and I just stopped talking, right? Because someone was trying so hard to convince me, or rather convince themselves, that Victor Osimhen earns more money than Erling Haaland. In other words, trying to make an extension or a conclusion that Victor Osimhen went to Galatasaray for the money, which was not the case. So the point I'm making is this: if you make certain moves as a Nigerian player, that can just be career suicide for you. That can just end your career. So going to the MLS, when Onyedika made that move, I came on here and said, that was a good one. Yes, I can't complain. You're going to make money for yourself. change the lives of your family. But when you go to the MLS, your career is more or less going to die. That's just it. One, the level of football is not up to par. Let me tell you this. How many times have you seen an English club celebrate an English player leaving the Premier League to go to, let's say, Serie B? How many times? No. Or leaving the English league to go into the Eredivisie, which is the first division in the Netherlands. How many times have you seen that? No, because they cherish their league. They feel their league is better. And for the most part, the Premier League is better. Right? But in the MLS, when an American player makes a move to, let's say, a championship side, in an EFL championship side, they're like, wow, lovely, beautiful, what a move. Lovely move, good move, and all that stuff, right? So that gets to tell you that the MLS is not the best league for you to go to. Yes, if to earn money, which is important because it's how you earn a living to help yourself, your family, and all that. So fair play. I'm not saying, oh, don't go. How dare you go there? No, you can go, but just know that if you have any ambitions on going to play in mainstream Europe, nah, it's not going to happen so much. So I think we have our own to play in terms of building narrative and creating visibility for these players. So Abdoulaye is at Genk. He's playing really well there. What is the plan of his agents? What are the plans of his agents for him? Are they going to, ensure that he moves to a good club, moves to a club that will really use him rightly? So that's the thing. So, yeah. Oh, Shehu, thanks for us. I see you. Nice having you here. Dove Jackson, nice as well to have you in the comments. So, Turkish league is like a curse that has been sent to Nigeria. Must all our players be linked to Turkey? Well, I think there's a good and bad. There are two sides to look at this. Yes, Osimhen has gone there, and like I said, that's why I wanted to come to Chelsea, and people didn't quite understand it. People have this thing where they say, "Oh, I love Chelsea so much." Like, what? I don't want him to play for Chelsea. What are you talking about? You go contest the country to do. Like, what are you talking about? Are you an absolute dum-dum? Well, Victor Osimhen will contest you. Are you going to go club for London? I actually watched a stream on someone's channel, and a Nigerian opened his mouth and said that nonsense. I don't want Victor Osimhen to come to my club because he will do Jaye, he will come and be going to club in London. Like, what are you talking about? How stupid can you be? But anyway, that's it. So, because Victor Osimhen is a force of nature, if he had come to the Premier League and played well, because I know he would have played well, that would have had a ripple effect. And Premier League club would have been like, how can we get our own version of Victor Osimhen? Yes, he's playing for Chelsea. Yes, he's playing for this club, but he's so good that we should be looking for our own, what is it called? Our own version of Osimhen. We can't get him. Oh, let's look for Ogundu. Which is Ogundu? Oh, can't get. Oh, I look for Rafi Durishimi. That is how it works. That is why till this day, clubs are still looking for their own version of Pele till today. Because of what Pele had done. People are looking for their own version of Messi. That is why Man City signed Echeverri, although they're playing with his career. That is why they went for him. Because they knew that, okay, we can't get Messi. Messi, legend at Barcelona. Now he's semi-retired, playing at Miami, enjoying the sun there. So why we can't get? Let's see if we can get the order of him. Let's see if we can get the other version, another version of him. So that's what is happening in Galatasaray. I'll be dropping the link soon on here, just in a moment. So that is what is happening in Galatasaray now. They've seen Victor Osimhen. Everyone says, "Ooh, Nigerian players are good, yeah." Let's see if we can get our own sort of slice of Victor Osimhen. You're seeing Trabzonspor being linked with what's his face? Trabzonspor having this guy's now. I just forget his name. Their striker, Onuachu. Then they have Onuachu there. They went for Kazim Olaigbe. Kazim Olaigbe has gone to Basel. So you're seeing them interested in Nigerian players. They've gone to get this this youngster from Hellas, from Hoffenheim, Buraspor. They've got him. So you see that is the effect, and that is the things when I talk about football. I see 3 steps ahead of things, and people just want to banter for some reason. We feel like the only way we can be successful as people on social media is by if we drag our own Nigerian players, drag them down, and if we worship Messi. There are Messi fans, there are Cristiano Ronaldo fans that Ronaldo could kick someone in the brain, kick their brain cells, and it comes out to their ears. Someone is going to praise them. Oh, we defend them. Oh, Ronaldo. Oh, don't come and talk about my goat. That means you're a real goat then. Messi will hold someone in the throat. Oh, don't talk about my goat. Don't talk about my goat. Victor Osimhen tell his teammate, pass the ball to me. Oh, Victor Osimhen, no, character issue, character issue, character issue. So when you do that, when you attack your biggest star, whether you hate him, you love him, you rate him, you don't rate him, Victor Osimhen is your biggest star. So when you pull down that biggest star, what do you think will happen to the tiny twinkles, the tiny ones, the lesser ones? What do you think will happen to them? So that's about that. And that's also essentially why I would say Nigeria should be playing for other leagues that are better than the Turkish league. But Victor Osimhen has gone there. He's becoming a cultural icon for them, and they want their own slice of Victor Osimhen. They know no club in Turkey can get Osimhen. They can match what Galatasaray can give to him, competing for titles and all that. They can't do it. So they're looking for their own slice of Osimhen. That's it. When you go to a league and play well, the same thing would happen with Tolu Arokodare. If he goes to Ajax, as he's gone to Ajax, and balls out there, you see the same effect there. That's just how it works. Sombreros FC is laughing. But that's true, that's true. And then, of course, we've heard the comments about Lecce being linked to Filippo Telle. The link here, and I'll drop it here soon. So we've heard all that talk about Lecce being linked to. Say Lecce is about to make a move for Filippo Telle. Do you think it's a good move from Basel? Now, how do I see this now? There are several ways to look at it. Going to Basel, I'll drop the link on here. Going to Basel, I think it is a fair move. I said Basel, at Basel we get to play there. We get to compete for the championship, for the Swiss championship. Have better opportunity to play in European football. But with Lecce, he has more space to play. So that could be a good move for him. And while his own chase is different, slightly different from Akadam, because the people say, oh, but Akadam, you criticize Akadam's move to begin with. As a striker, you don't get to create your own opportunities. So everything you do is based off of what your teammates will do. So if you don't have players creating for you, it becomes a struggle for you. You understand? But as a winger, you're on the ball more. Even if your team is a crappy team, but you create lots of chances, assists, dribbles, look very good on the ball, taking on players, then you can have the possibility of making a bigger move, going to a more fancy club than when you're a striker playing for a club where, because as a striker, you're judged on your goals. Whatever else you play, you're judged on the goals and on the amount of goals you scored. So, I'll bring Onyeshewu to this. I'll bring Onyeshewu to the show, opinions on things. So, yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So,
Raphael.
yeah, that's nice to have you on here. So, first off, opinion on these moves. Tolu Arokodare, Ajax, going to Ajax, how do you see it? And then Onyedika to Frankfurt.
First of all, I have to talk about the Tolu move.
Mm-hmm.
Good move, good move, good move, good
Yeah.
move. I can get a better playing championship, play football, can play very well there and get career back on track. But good move, he play very well there. I'm still the good striker, but just do work on his attitude towards game and his finishing. especially early. It's just good for me. And
Mhm.
talking about Onyedika,
Yeah.
it's the time to move. The due. That movie is due for a long time. I'm be like, I'm be like, go to jam. I'm not go to jam, not family. I'm not go to jam, not family. Actually, the play ball there. And Papa the best both sides. They play football there, and the play ball, where they are fully get play time area. And then come to Premier League, so far in the Premier League, so we go to that play football there. And for this young man, um, Ebenezer,
Mhm.
yeah, permanent football, long move.
Yes, it's a permanent move. It's just that Inter they
Good,
have a
good,
sell-on
good,
clause. They have sell-on clause to get a percentage
good,
of the move if
good,
he's sold
good,
on.
good, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's a bit that's it. You find find to play football career, focus their play football there. And the way sleep for the way that play, the way that play,
Hmm.
and we can if we play very well in midfield, can make the team work like Nigeria and basically get a more playing time, get to showcase himself and better for him career. Not that come on. I don't like going going on. No. Those are the ones doing. You go for manage phone. That's what I expect you guys to do. Fairly true, but it's not doing that. Just going on to see and see. But I like what they mean. I do. I want to say please. I don't know when I'm on the similar issue and talking.
Hmm.
First of all, that year that you got service,
Hmm.
that same year, and I back up for him. They
Yeah.
make big money for him to stay in want to stay in. And at that time, nobody going for nobody's coming for him. Even just Chelsea self. Take advantage of him. They'll pay small money. It's not that's not done. They tell that one talent she had one top scorer in Italian league that year. Play for win club for Italy that win better in Italy want to play what salary and and Galatasaray confirm for him. So it's good. And for me, at the point that Osimhen goes to Turkey, Turkey league look but I mean Osimhen, if you play there, other players play Saudi Arabia now. Musulman play Saudi Arabia, Jabel play Saudi Arabia, so Osimhen play in Turkey. So playing there, keep it 4 feet. And the better club are not for him because they beat Africa. They beat Africa. They're not coming for him. This is Africa. And we are doing rubbish. What happened we didn't finish that time. We don't know what happened. Just blame the young man and the coach. The man have to put comment on his leg. That's why come on.
Your video is frozen.
So you got to do like this. What about now?
It's still frozen.
Can you hear me now? Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you now. Yes, yes. I can see you now. Yes. Go
Can
on.
you see me now?
Sure, sure, sure.
I that we should just let the young man let the man be. If Premier League club don't want to sign him, they don't want the big guy is old. Unless he play football there.
Hmm.
For me, that's not concern. If he's playing very well there and any other club join, it's not too late. They want make the best move at his old age. Joma. So for me, can move to that club side. Maybe not Premier League, maybe go to Spain or AC back to Italy
Hmm.
after 2 years because you, that's what I think about. So usually go to Spain, and before I go, another was him. Amanda, want to talk about this my young stars
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
play in most
Yeah.
of them they don't know what they want. They just take it to America to MLS at 21. What does that mean for you? That's rubbish now. Come and play European football, not America. American play, American play, American play, they play in Europe. Look at this
Mm-hmm.
boy that had my this Ladipo. That play for South African. She's not after going to university. I mean, now we about anymore. No. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going about what Kaya does them. Last thing that play for that play last time that was that time. That play in Czech from that time. Most them and Kaya is done. So that's so you want to play football, go to play in Europe, can go play in Belgium, play in France,
Mm-hmm.
play in other go to go and play in Norway, play in Sweden,
Yeah,
not USA,
more USA.
not America. You
And the
don't
point I've made before,
that's my
sorry to
fault.
interrupt you, the point I've made before is this, like, even the America, because we know America, they can be super arrogant, they love their own thing, they love their own thing, but even at that, if an American player today leaves an MLS club and goes to Copenhagen in Denmark, they will celebrate, oh, what a move, it's going to Europe. Because they know MLS, yes, maybe they have more money, but it's not up to the level. And when you as a young star, 20 years, 21 years, you're going to MLS, your career is going to, especially as a Nigerian player, because you already have the negative narrative around you, to go there, it'll be difficult for you to come out from there and go to any European and build your career back up. So, yeah. So, go on, sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. America makes they play in European, they play at football. It's a policy playing in AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Fulan Balogun playing well, playing
Monaco.
Fulan Balogun, can you
They
hear
play
me?
Monaco. I can hear you. I say he
Play
plays in Monaco.
Monaco, and that
Yeah.
time. Yes, and Adira play for Coventry City in England. So the
Mm-hmm.
player. So that's what they do. They don't focus. They don't start playing America left America for Europe. That's what they do. That's the best way to do. And our young stars need to learn focus. Focus on your career. Then when they take it, they take it to one or two league. When they take it to Afghanistan, take it to Kuwait. That's not fair. That's and then generally this season, I want to leave it with a Boniface play very with Osimhen play very but when you can get fit, I think we bench this guy, we bench this guy Akko.
Yeah.
You see, but technically, Boniface is better than Akko. Skill wise,
Yeah.
everything wise. In Nigeria attack, when his best, we take out there in Nigeria attack. Forget about the form or nothing. If he's fully fit and in form, Nigeria will just went to the lot in that final. That's it. So that man, the midfield area for Nigeria, I think Akinsanmiro is good. For me, my choice is Akinsanmiro.
Mm-hmm.
I will not drop it like that. I plead some games because he's a legend, he captain of the time. So maybe we're meaning that 3-2-3-0 for chemistry. I can just bring in Akintanyo the second half of the game, starting the first. All this Akintanyo, Uche needs to get come back. But when Uche is that, where is he playing? Where is he playing? Is he a midfielder or striker? I don't know.
The thing is,
Uche, I don't know.
Uche is a midfielder, right? But you see, the problem with being as good as Uche is the same problem Loftus-Cheek had at Chelsea. The same problem Bellingham almost had. Because when Real Madrid signed Bellingham, if you remember, when they signed Jude Bellingham, I think was it Benzema that got injured, something like that. Then Ancelotti just
Yeah,
let
but
me
not
find a
injured.
way, shape him, and put him as a striker, first nine. And Jude Bellingham was a very good footballer, was scoring goals. People like, oh striker, and that almost killed his career. Wondering where to play, where to play. The same thing Loftus Cheek. They say, oh, where are we playing? When you look at Loftus Cheek, if you keep overthinking aside, oh, I'm a super coach, just watch normally. You know, Loftus Cheek is box to box midfielder. Finish. Chiki now is not there. No other. You look at him, you know he will drop deep, get the ball, carry the ball. because of his size, he's 6'2" or 6'3", something like that. As he carries the ball and he moves, nobody will stop him. Just like Yaya Toure, carry the ball and he'll bully anybody in his way. But you saw, look at this lab scientist that is England coach, carry him and play as a wing back. One time, like, what are you doing? How are you playing leadership as a wing back? Like, how do you think about that and play him as a wing back? So it was that kind of struggling to place him in the right position. And that's the same thing with Uche. Uche is a midfielder. He can carry that ball. He can contribute for you defensively. He can carry the ball, make runs into the box. He can be that midfielder that can score for you, making that late runs into the box to finish up chances. But because he has that ability to finish off chances, a lot of people now are trying to confuse him as a striker. He is not. So let me just read this comment from Sombrero FC. That was it. Boniface is the most
let me ask you a
we have,
question.
and I agree. Yeah, go on. Go on, touch on.
Let me ask you a question. If you're a manager,
yeah,
if you're a manager, I am now.
Yeah, hey, sure.
If you're a manager in the midfield three, where will you play Uche? In the midfield three.
In the midfield three.
If you're a manager,
yeah, from the manager, yes.
And in the midfield three, where will you play Uche?
I'll play Uche. In the midfield three, I'll play him in a slightly withdrawn role. We'll play him as an 8 or as an aggressive 6, and then play a 10 in front of him. Maybe, I don't know, Shotire or one of those ones, Shotire or if you're lower, if he comes good at his club, play him as a 10 there. Because that allows him to be his best. When Uche is at his best, when he gets that ball. Yeah.
Okay, that means
that kind of that can be that is good on the ball, that can score when he gets to those attacking positions, that can contribute defensively and very good carrying the ball. But he's not somebody was arguing with me, he's a striker. I said he's not a striker. Stop arguing this thing. Was arguing. I said, okay, he's not a striker. Bellingham was not a striker. Caicedo was not a right back. SCN was not a center back. Yes, when some people had injuries, Mourinho will play him as a center back and those kind of things. So the best way to lose the player, I guarantee you, is by playing the player out of position. Play them in their rightful spot. And this one question I want you to contribute to this after I make this point. Like for me, I believe you can win with different style of midfield. You can play with a midfield 3 where you have a 10 that can create with 2 sitting midfielders. You can win with playing 2 energetic box-to-box midfielders that can go 2 ways. So maybe you can use those type of midfield that can go 2 ways, 2 of them in the midfield. Then your wingers can cut in with your fullbacks coming out to give weight. You can win with that. But my thing is, respect that style you want to do, you want to play. That thing you want to do. Respect it. This Wafu B tournament, I watched the game Nigeria Burkina Faso. I felt so bad. I'll be talking about that player later on in the show. I felt so bad for this player. Abdoulaye, I felt so bad for him. Because he had that kind of Victor Osimhen style, although Victor Osimhen is levels above. But to drop back, press, wanting to be involved in play and all that kind of thing. But when you see your midfielder, your striker coming to midfield, every time he's in midfield, no matter how good he is, always in midfield, then you have an issue. And that's what he was doing. And I said it earlier on the show. Abdoulaye Agbejoye, he's like Erling Haaland. He doesn't like to get involved in play. If the ball comes, you hold it up, give it to his teammates. He will make the right runs with his pace. Bully center back will score. But if you're not going to create chance for him, he's going to look like he's not part of the game. And that happened in that yesterday game. So for me, my question is, Nigerian midfield, can we not pick the style we want to do? Because those 2 boys that were in the midfield yesterday, I don't know what they were doing. Then would I say it's because they've already qualified? That's why they're playing the way they are playing. It didn't look like there was no energy. in that midfield, that two-man midfield that you expect from a two-man midfield. So the floor is yours, Sean.
But after go to my ex,
Yeah,
are you hearing me?
yeah, I can hear yes.
I put up a post. I put up a post yesterday after the match.
Mm-hmm.
I took a lot about the match yesterday. What I saw.
Yeah.
First of all, I think that my 10 times, 10 times. They'll beat us 10 times. You know
Okay,
why?
Ghana will beat Nigeria 10 times. Okay.
That my yesterday. Like 10 times
Ten
over
times.
over
Okay,
again.
because will beat Nigeria ten
They'll
times. Okay, okay.
they'll beat us 10 times. You know why?
Why?
Because that in lack cohesion. The meeting is not there at all. At all, at all, at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I don't know why the manager every match cut down midfield players. They can't dribble, they can't take a pass, no time. And sometimes I wonder what our coaches think in Nigeria. This try this shoot. I'm after man. I'm after player. That's killing football. Go on Nigeria. Scout properly. One thing, don't think that thing, that base nothing they can produce that can produce. That's the best that they can produce. No. The
You
better
know,
players
like
that can play. Because I watch the three matches. I won't lie to you.
mm-hmm.
Against Ghana, they score there. Against go to go. What are very poor defensively. But this Burkina side, they've been for the past 3 years. They've been last year. Those guys, they've been Burkina. So they understand their football. When
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian team, just for me, the manager for me yesterday's game show that we need to learn more. Do more to grasp football. That Agbejoye, this man destroying. I'm going to say because that guy he doesn't even play at all. Just pass them score the goal. That was their do. But yesterday they're just playing him off target yesterday. No create no pass to him and just at all. And I believe for two who does that. Who do add two strikers. You want one they're more tall, they're more lanky, they're one the most skillful and the midfield don't function very well. Not done, no, it's not called for.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the manager yesterday was the flop. That man is the flop, is a fraud. And that thing, they're playing for the madness. I remember that they're playing for the man now. They're doing country. That was the man team want to go and play Tolu. They play in France. They tournament in France this June. France this June. They play in France this June. So that more question. They play one tournament in France this June. To Tolu National. They play in France this June, last June. They play over there. They play some friendly matches too. They are very together for a long time. And I think my job begins later. Just anytime a team lost, we throw them away after the another team. And this team now, I'm very sure they don't qualify. They will throw them away. So for me, about your point,
But
Nigerian
I think
coaches
they've
need
already
to learn how
qualified
to
back for the AFCON. Since
understand football
semi-finals
very
are
well. And
qualified for
next thing,
AFCON back.
plan is no no
So it's the
no.
finalists. In the finals are qualified.
That's two. But so finally they play Cote as a finalist. If they win yesterday or play draw, they've really fought on the table. And they begin one that time they finish second and play Cote next. That's the point.
No,
That's where the issue is now because that's that's I don't want that Cote d'Ivoire. That's how it's done. Our FA need to focus more. Get the proper planning down. This is after they start camping in June. But then they play in July. Who does that? Burkina Faso have been together for like 3 years together playing football. They're playing over the other country. Go and check their record. Want to beat them. Look at that. What they are playing for today. They understand themselves. Look at the way they score. So that's 20, which one is good? You can't have the trick and they play very well. They understand themselves. Party. Talent not enough. Talent not enough. Plan is more better.
Yeah,
Want
so
to play football? Plan for. That's the point.
for me, this is the thing where I have issues with these people. So if you watch TCC or the N Youth League or any of those grassroots tournaments, the football they play there is way better, way better. I know Lumide now he has gone is now Remo Stars first team coach for Remo Stars, but the football they play those clubs is way better than what our age grade teams play. The age grade teams are not meant to be
Let
where
me
you get the best players from grassroots to
let
be
me
in all this tournament.
let, let me let me give you a point. No.
Mm.
See, Nigerian Football Federation. I'm not. This allegedly. This confirmed. I've won academy in Abuja for the Marvel Academy.
Mm.
That's where they pick their players from. Go and check that squad. What they do? They've not changed name on the club side to other club side. They've not go and pick their place. And that academy, one of the FA, one of the FA scouts, one of the so that's the plan. They don't become married. They become settlement, not become married. So that what they don't really talk about. They don't go there. They don't go there at all. But look at this. If you bet, better if you have time. Look at this club, this academy that produces that China.
Mm-hmm.
How can you go there and pick like this?
Mm-hmm. So
How can you go there? They will not go there. They either go to a place that they will tell players 5,000 dollars, collect money and collect bribe. That's the point. So these don't really do. They don't pick that there. That's because player go to Europe and sign Europe league and shine Europe. How many Nigerian players how Nigerian players go to league player that go to that try in Europe and perform very well. This ones that Lakers go to Chelsea, that tournament, what tournament? Because it's quite easy. They want to sign him now. Well, we have been trying. It goes to okay. I want to how the good guys with that. That's better club side. Ask this question. Why we have all the academic that go find play go to that club in Europe, go to that club in Europe, and our league side no go to other go to top league like Japanese league, another league. So the competition is too much in Nigeria football. That's the point.
yeah. So speaking of the name you just mentioned, I want to talk about it some more. I did a video reacting to that report linking him to a move to Chelsea. I don't want to talk about it again. Talk about the show Victor. Abdul Adeleke. Chelsea
Yeah.
currently representing Wafubi tournament. Want to watch Chelsea are looking like they want to sign him. That we talks about pre-contract. Pre-contract was signed and they want to sign him when he turns 18. But usually the type of news, Fabrizio Romano usually would report on this type of news when a club like Chelsea goes in for any player. But not heard anything about that. Let's see when that pre-contracting happens, if indeed it goes through. But for me, just like what you mentioned, what
Bama.
are their plans for this boy? Because the way Chelsea operates, if you don't have a plan for the player as a coach, as an agent, that player could be lost. Because if you sign him now, is he going to be playing for the under a 20 team, under 21 team, rather? He's going to be for the under 21 team in Chelsea, or would he get loaned to Strasbourg? And if he get loaned to Strasbourg, would they look at him as someone that is going to start for them, or they'll put him on their bench, or they'll send him to their own academy to play, or he'll go on loan or something like that? So It's one thing being linked to Chelsea, it's one thing being signed to Chelsea. It's another thing whether is he going to go there as a real signing or is going to go there as on trial. Now the reports I heard say it's pre-contract, which means everything is done. It's just for him to turn 18 and then he'll be signed. So let's hope that's the case. But the question is, what is the plan? And again, going back to what I mentioned and what you also said is that the way he was made to struggle, yes, he has that energy of coming to midfield, fight for ball, press. But he was doing it too much because, not his fault, but the team was not creating well for him. So Abdoulaye Agbejoye, that's another one I just felt bad for him. I felt so bad. I felt so bad for that Agbejoye boy because I know what his game is all about. And some people maybe watching for the first time will say, this one is he good? But you're not playing him to his strength because nobody's creating in that midfield. The wingers are not creating. The fullbacks, you are just standing there watching a winger get doubled up, get covered by 3 Burkina Faso players. So, but overall, I think if this move happens, it's a good move for him. It's a profile boosting move for him. Yeah.
Let me teach you one time about that guy. First of all, about the guy move. Move. For me, I think find my way. Find my way. I'm going to family. I'm about to go to Starbucks, not Chelsea.
You like to go to Strasbourg?
Starbucks, not Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I say?
Why?
In Strasbourg, French league start to play football. At 17, when I start playing for French club, they are good. Go to France and develop yourself first. Because that boy is talented player. Basically, because the proper coaching, I'm very sure. Really great in football. Secondly, about Agbejoye, I think this that is the match.
Mm-hmm.
We have not watched that before on the platform. We have not watched that. We have not watched it on platform before. I call him rubbish. Because I watch the video people are nice. But the way the coach set up the senior team was awful.
It was awful.
Very, very awful. Awful was woeful. I don't know what's about him. That's why I say Nigeria coaches need to learn football. Go back to school. That's why I say all the young, all the our good coaches pick other big coach from. Look at those other country. They don't pick they pick coach with that's the player. Now that coach in league football. Coach in league football. What man that coach in league football coach under 17. What do you know about what is playing in football? Because 30 men there in there, and most was picking them. Other coaches available, they can do for pick them chance, but no. So for me, they want to fix career for Nigeria. But that boy, I want to get to you. Right now, if he plays football, it doesn't last too much. Just put one, let's go for him. Not Osimhen.
Mm-hmm.
Not Osimhen. It's a finisher. The finisher that can just play like Alan and Kane. Alan and other striker, the finisher, they want to speed. Not Osimhen.
Yeah. One is just play him in. He will make the right runs for you if you're hitting on the counter. Once your winger is going, you will see him, he'll be with the defender, then will enter defender's front. He will score. He will always make the right runs. That's 100% sure what Agbejoye will give you. If you play the ball into him, he will make life difficult for defender. But if you're wanting him to come and be involved in play and passing the ball, this kind of thing, he will not do that for you. And that's even with the Muiz that can do it. If your striker is doing that thing every time, then
you get tired.
They'll get tired and they'll miss out on the main thing they are meant to do, which is score goals. They will miss out on it. So,
yes.
So for me, I think Nigeria coaches, they have to have a reshape. They have to have a reshape. Yeah, one more transfer news to talk about. Nothing has come of it yet, but it's a player I've talked about before. He's on the channel, I can't remember. I know I've talked about him. He is the Onoha. a young midfielder. I think he's plays for SJK Academia in the Finnish league. He's been linked to, of course, there's one name you have to guess when it comes to Nigerian players now. Ever since they got Zadok Yohanna and he did well for them,
Zadok.
any Nigerian player now, they're always going to be linked with the person. So Eze Ono, AIK, Stockholm are linked with him, where they're looking at him. Jogadens IF are also looking at him, so where they want to sign him too. So Eze Ono, I think that would be a step up for a move from Finland to AIK Stockholm and see if he can have a good stint with them, play well and build his profile up there. I think that's a good one in my opinion. A young nice player that can be in that midfield because once again I keep saying Tochukwu Nadi, yes, good one. Ebenezer Akinsanmiro, yes, good one. But we need to retool that midfield. In my own opinion, that midfield needs a retooling. So happy he's made that move. I'm happy for the links. The move has not been made. No offer has been made, but happy for that link. Tochukwu Nadi too. Happy that we probably have good game time this season as well. Raphael Onyedika made move to Frankfurt. He'll have game time there as well. That's a good move for him because we need all these players to be firing on all cylinders because you have AFCON qualifiers coming up. And one important thing for everybody to note, in this AFCON qualifiers, you have, I think, is it Tanzania?
One
Is
ticket
it?
now, look.
You have
Yes.
only one ticket in
One
that
ticket
group.
now, one ticket now.
So any mistake,
No,
you're out of it. I know people will look at the group and say, oh, Nigeria must qualify. But any mistake, you're out of it. No second chances. There are no second chances. So they have to really get the best players in. I, for one, I want to see Zadok in that squad. Femi Aziz, I don't know his passport thing. They always talk about this passport thing like his Indian film where it's always a long thing to get. I don't know why they always talk about it like that, but Femi Aziz want to see him.
I mean, yeah, yes.
Want to see
For
Femi
me,
Aziz. Want to see Zadok.
what happened that?
Yeah.
For me, what happened that? This window
Mm-hmm.
we are playing now. Let us clean our from first four matches.
Mm-hmm.
But next match, we need to prepare for previous young time squad. Let's start training now. We're not 30. But one thing is key. What about the share contract?
That's the thing. We haven't heard
Because
anything about it. They gave us a tease,
right now,
a post to say at the wheel. No one knows what's happening with it.
because one, could just like the manager last week,
Mm-hmm.
and then share fathers from Cote d'Ivoire. So it's Cote d'Ivoire manager. You know what that means? What that means? Just a call away from the manager. They call and see man. And trust me, Cote d'Ivoire better stop show, better FA. Remember the football that league exchange job easier. Speak French, they teach French. They also say just like uh the man want to go to Barcelona, let me shouting. Because the men say want to go to Barcelona, I'm shouting. No way. Understand it, so understand it. For me, let them get contract. So, and one thing I talk about the Falcons. The
Mm-hmm.
Falcons. I watching the match. I watching the match.
I saw
I
some
watching the match.
highlights of their game versus Zambia.
Let me tell you one fact
Okay.
today. As a football fan, that team they don't have a coach.
Magudu.
So they don't have a coach. They don't have a coach at all. Get not playing on their own talent. They're playing, and that talent no enough. And that man have agenda. Don't like point players. Don't like Nigerian player alone. Not for no those Sydney. Don't like them at all. Because they don't give him money. That's I think Odega is very old. So for me, we go for fine. That's not my money coach, Madugu. No way I'm doing no coach at all. That's the point about the Falcons. I wish to block, but it's simple.
Yeah.
The manager is the flop. That's all.
Well, that's the thing. I think the Falcons they need to look to get a new coach to begin with, and they need to also begin to replenish that team as well.
God bless you.
So I think sometimes people forget
And
about
I
the.
want I want to do the most one for me.
Mm,
As I can get him level five goal. Nigeria point go level five goal. You find go and find for girls. Nigeria point more girls that play football. Find them for us too.
mhm.
No counting for us too. Do that for us too. They get all those girls that playing that just are playing that playing local. They don't get paid. They don't get paid in PSG now. Olusi Basi.
Brazil, yes.
They get PSG now. They just signed for PSG. It's a midfielder from PSG Academy, PSG first team. Olusi Basi. All those girls that both that have played for Nigeria too. Do that for us. And maybe
Okay.
then maybe but I think they will listen them. That need replacement. They are too old. They are too old. So see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I would do that because I have to structure some programming in for all that on the channel. So we'll
Right.
do that for sure. So just to run everyone through what we've been talking about so far. We talked about transfers. Tolu Arokodare is going to Ajax from Wolves. Big one for him. I know he probably will score 10 plus goals for Ajax, and that's a good one for him. Raphael Onyedika going to Frankfurt. Good move, better league, better competition, obviously better pay for him. So good move. He hopes he gets to play. He'll get game time there to play. And then of course we've seen other moves like Wisdom Daniel joined KAA Ghent. That's a good one for him. Ife Olua
Who is that boy? Who is that? Who
is
is that? Who is that?
he's a winger.
Who is that boy?
He's a winger as well.
Yeah, from where? From
This new
where?
club, I know that was there Romania or Lithuania, one of those clubs. And I've seen some of the
I
videos.
was is he a young man or old man?
No, no, it's a young man. It's about 19 or 20, something like that. So it's a young guy. It's a young guy. So
Okay.
he's a winger as well. He has made that move. Uh, Oreoluwa Agbenla, he's been signed by what do you call it? By IAK Stockholm. He's a central attacking midfielder. He's a 10. So let's see how he develops there. He's on that move. Um, Shedrack Egbo, we're hearing Brentford, we're hearing AIK, we are also hearing Copenhagen may look to steal the deal from AIK. Let's see. He's a winger as
There's
well.
so
Let's see
there,
that one.
there there's one rumor. There's one rumor I'm seeing online now.
Mm.
But yesterday about Victor Osimhen. When I
Yeah,
think
I've
the
seen
other
that as
side
well.
is
Talking about Victor Osimhen, Spurs being interested in him, want to offer 55 million euros. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
if
I think that be rejected. Mm.
Osimhen value is according to the according to the transfer report.
Mm-hmm.
Osimhen want value £6 million. £6 million. That's for now. And secondly,
Mm.
Osimhen didn't want yesterday that he want to move because they make him their captain. Say he doesn't want the captain ban.
Well, I think that shows that
For
they
me,
see, yeah.
Tottenham is buying. I'm happy with that because Tottenham they have money and that's better manager now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care about going to Chelsea. Just they don't know what they want.
Just are not serious.
Attacking one, they know what they want. They know what they want.
Look at how they rushed to sell Andre Santos. Meanwhile, you have Esugo, who is not as good as him. You have Lavia that injuries just keeps worrying him, and you still keep those two, and you hurriedly sold the better player of the three of them. They just sell players like
The
Monaco
point is that
or
Santos want to leave.
Southampton or all these clubs that are
The
selling
thing is,
clubs. You know,
I feel that Santos want to leave. They want to play football. And said on that Chelsea midfield right now, everybody's fit. No start. No start.
see,
So I understand the boys. I understand the boys.
Santos, if Caicedo, Enzo, okay, those two. Who is better than him? Not Lavia. Not what's his name? Not Esugo for sure. So Lavia is not better than him. That's Lavia is not him out there anyway.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
If Live has put it fit on tournament, better than Santos.
Mm-hmm.
Live is put it fit. No injury wise. Play ball constantly better than Santos.
Even if you say,
When play for
even if let's say
I'm
he's
listening.
fit, let's say he's better, but he's never fit to begin with. He's never fit.
That
And the gap between
that's the
him
point.
and Santos, even if you say he's better than Santos, the gap between him and Santos is not that big. So that's my own issue with that, because they say the best ability is availability. If Lavia you play 3 match, impress you, then get injured and be out for a long time. Not his fault, but you cannot sell the, because let's say now just doesn't have backup. Henderson is a pointless signing. For me, it's a pointless signing because
For me,
what will it teach Enzo Fernandez?
just to talk for yeah. And
Uh,
then
you can't-
they're not shy.
See, someone like
They're
Enzo,
not
this is
shy.
how someone like Enzo can listen to what you're saying. You're either as good as him or better, one, or your career, when he looks back at your career, this guy was really balling. That's it. And Henderson was never balling. It was Klopp that made him kind of good in his system. Because ask yourself, which other system has Henderson shown in? Not for England. The Ajax he went to, they were willing to let him go. A team like Brentford that don't have big transfer budget, willing to let him go.
I'm going to I'm going to report. The manager say you want him. So let's see what happens.
Okay, doesn't want him.
The manager say want him.
I hope it doesn't cause
So
him
let's
to
see
get
what
sacked.
happens.
But let him.
So and I'm sure that and they say they now they say one kind of say they want to make money now. They want to make money now. They want to make money now. Don't say like but they say it's living started by living and they'll get money to buy player now. And then one free. They just buy the guy one guy from Bournemouth and they scored.
For me, that's a
Possible.
pointless signing. But anyway, they'll do something. Let's sign him. I have who I prefer in midfield, but I scored when they sign a signing.
Adam
And what is for me is the guy you sign.
Adam
But if they want to sign
What is
Alex Scott,
expensive?
let's see.
What is expensive? Want to keep the palace.
Alex Scott too is
They say no, they're
expensive.
plotting. Want
Alex Scott is expensive too.
eh,
Alex Scott is not like he's 50 million. It will be expensive. They'll end up paying
and
like 74 million for him.
and
It will not be cheap too. So
keep
you know,
the palace. Don't say what in this summer.
it will
Even
be
January.
expensive. So coming back, yeah. So
I'm listening, but finish.
coming back to Nigeria now. So all these transfers have happened already lower. Hopefully, let's see, it plays well for AIK Stockholm, and let's see, because we really need to get that 10. We really need to get that 10. If Lua play for Goldberg, let's see how he plays as well. The little videos I saw of him,
All those boys,
it
all
looked
those
good.
boys are supposed to be on a 20 team. All
Well, that's what I was asking about this Wafu B tournament. Is it just for home base? Just for home base? Because I thought I saw one or two names. They are playing for clubs, they are foreign
no
clubs. But
club, audio club, audio club,
okay.
audio
Like
club,
I saw
audio club.
our world star, Abdoulaye Ele. His name too was there. Maybe his father owns a gold mine somewhere and they're just trying to Baba has called them to say, my boy wants to play football. No, he can play. They say, okay, we'll find a way, sir. Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, we'll find a way. We'll find a way for your boy to play. Your boy will play football. Because Manchester City, I did all the research. I took my shovel and my dynamite blow the ground. Dog. I found nothing. Linking him to Man City. It was just
Then
maybe a trialist. I don't think they
audio.
even gave time to play. And then that was it.
Then
And there was no
maybe
announcement on their site for it. It was just Facebook post. So now they've attached another club to his
my
name,
brother.
and he's in
Which
this
club?
one.
Which club again?
So
Which club again? Which
this
club?
one
Which club is
strange
that?
club. I can't even remember the name of the club. It's not a known club name. It's
Let
one
me
great club name.
let, let, let me do something now.
Yeah,
I hear me.
I can hear you. Go
See,
on.
Nigeria Confederation introduced it overall league, but in that place,
Mm-hmm.
corruption live there. There's anything
Yeah, what
as
they're doing
money.
is they're using flying eagles, they're using golden eagles, even super eagles as a platform, as a scouting platform. That's what they're doing. They're using it as a scouting platform for all these other Eastern European clubs. So if we bring the player here, the fact that he can put on his CV that I play for Nigeria Super Eagles or Flying Eagles or anything like that, it goes well for him. And if he can
They'll
get few
sign.
minutes, one club will go and pay the player £1,000 a week or for £500 a week type of thing and sign
Uh,
the player. Meanwhile, the agent would have paid them
just like
would have paid them
just like
something that
Benjamin
Tanimo.
Chamiyu.
Is it Tami every Tanimo?
Taminu, like, I can play football. I can play football. I can play football.
I
I can
don't
play
know
football.
who
He was
somebody
good.
keeps rating
He
that
went
guy
to
so highly. I
went,
don't
went,
even
to- went
understand.
to was really George.
Yeah, and the guy he went to Crawley Town. So as he went to Crawley Town and they didn't keep him, I just need to forget about it. If Crawley Town won't fight to keep you,
When
then what are we talking about?
uh,
So that's the
when he
thing with this thing.
Went to Morocco too. Morocco too. There's something like Morocco too.
You couldn't cut it.
What
You couldn't cut. I know what me. I was saying that. See, if you want to do scouting, okay, you can create a scouting platform and you make money. Even more money. Create a scouting web application and mobile application that every team playing grassroots football, every team,
let
whether
me
it's
tell
youth league, whether it's
we just
AC,
of you my brother
yeah,
you people
mm,
like you.
yeah,
Look what they're okay. Oh, my guy, we did tell you come and come for us to transfer for because they are selfish and stupid. They can't employ you. That's the issue.
because if you have that app now,
That's
you
the
can
point.
say there's free one for people. If you're agent or scout, you can subscribe. I don't know, $10 a month, and people will pay subscribe. Advert and people who won't advertise on that app will advertise, and the players will be getting scouted. Instead of you to use the Super Eagles, Flying Eagles as a
And
platform for club to see player, the Super Eagles
even
should
me,
be a reward, a privilege for people who have played well. You're not bringing them to the team to show what they have shown for you, shown to the world already in their club to show it for the national team. So it's
even myself.
mm,
I can scan the credit line. No, I will just go to. I can, just a matter of having better internet.
mm-hmm.
Good and good than where picture that's for. That's the best thing. They don't, I wish I made that lazy coaches and I made lazy. That lazy coaches. That's the problem. That's the problem.
I want to
They
see
don't want to
grassroots.
work.
I tell you, what is grassroots boys? I've talked about him before. I said he can coach Super Eagles, but the only thing that will stop him from coaching Super Eagles is Can you deal with egos
Ego.
in the team?
Yes.
Would Osimhen what is any listen to you? Will I don't know
See,
other players would you be
let me
able
let
to
me
deal with their high profile?
let
You
me
know?
let me do something. Let me do
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
They can do that. How? Look at Punch model. This man, they film thing. They are coach. But we go see all the players together from youth team up to now. If you
Hmm.
like, be any £1 million, be any £2 million, £100 million, then be any big money. I'm still your boss. But like, I coach you. That's the mentality meant coming. This my mind now. Nigerian players need to learn too. As a player, you have to be humble. No matter how much money you have, a coach is very important. And coaches too much. Coaches must very coaches too. They must get serious in football. When they say that jersey with players, might finish that jersey with the that we are not jersey with other players. That's disrespectful now. That's the point. So if we get a better coach that coach from youth team, get off that when they were expecting.
Hmm. So so for me, these are the
That's the point.
questions that Nigerian football has to answer, and they're doing. A lot of them are backing Infantino, talking about money to pay to you and all that kind of things. To sustain your football, it's not FIFA that will sustain you. It's not Juventus partnership with Sevilla for league. It's when you look inward, develop your own football. That's why UEFA can have the chance they have because that $40 million. Yes, it's big money that FIFA will give to federation, whatever. They can generate that money 10 times by their own selves, so they don't really need FIFA. So you cannot be needing FIFA. Yes, FIFA will give that money, but you can generate your own revenue, your own funds, for so the Osimhen thing about Spurs, I don't see it likely happen. But if he goes to Spurs with this De Zerbi there and the way he wants to play, it will be a problem for many teams. And unfortunately,
Big,
I don't
big,
think
big,
he will go there
they will
because
cook. Oh.
yeah, for sure he will cook that. Of course, I don't want Spurs to win anything, but he will cook for sure, for sure, for sure. Chelsea, I'm
I
not
will
sure.
support them.
What about it?
It was not good. I'll support them.
Is it Osimhen go there and what?
I'll support them. If it's not good, I'll support.
Well, I want him to do well, but I can never support sports. But I want him to do well because he's a Nigerian player. I want every Nigerian player to be firing because these qualifiers, I want people to be on fire. I don't want anybody that will be dragging. I want everybody. Osimhen can come with 10 goals. Zadok can come with 3 goals, 3 assists. I want people to be firing well so that you demolish because this you demolish all the teams you play have at least the maximum points. Is it 6 or 9 points at
12
the end
points.
of the international
12
break?
points. 12,
12
12
12
points.
points. So
12
at least a
points.
longer
Four
international break
matches.
now. So it's just one window. Then okay, get the maximum points
Just
you need
two,
to
two,
get,
just
and then
two windows.
just
Two windows.
so was it 3 or so?
Window.
4.
Um, two. For the qualifier, one for friendly.
Yeah,
September for qualifier and November for friendly.
good. So I want people to come in without being on fire, playing very well, and Enrique to look at your midfield. You can't be happy with those 2 guys alone. So that's it. And then I want everybody firing. So Osimhen, if he goes to Spurs, good. Fire. Chelsea is out of it completely because those guys. Let me tell you something. That's why when you see people rushing to get sporting directors from top clubs, there's a reason. These 2 guys that used to be in Monaco and Brighton, that with due respect to these clubs, they are selling clubs. So once they see big money, they're willing to sell off. They're in a hurry to sell off. When you're meant to understand and look at it, you're at a big club, well, this club is not just meant to be a selling club, it's meant to be a club competing at the top end of things. And if a club wants a player from a big club, that club will be patient, do not be in a hurry. So you can take your time, assess your players, make sure you have the you're keeping the best players and letting the ones that are surplus to requirements go. Except it's a very huge move. But when you're playing for a small club, a selling club, you're always eager. Oh, let's sell this player out before this big club go and look for other option. And they are penny wise, pound foolish. They believe in signing 6 players that they will pay £50,000 each, than signing 2 players that they will pay £100,000 each, because they feel like, oh, don't you see, we shared it among 6 players and paid them 50,000. Meanwhile, we could have wasted £200 for 2 players. So that's the mindset of this Chelsea director. So I'm not even thinking about Osimhen go there. Because in that same report, they say Chelsea are monitoring. I'm not quite sure. What would they do? They'll go and say loan with no option to buy.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
Monitoring lizard. Go there and monitor. Then they'll come with one stupid offer like they did with Shaka. They say it's 8 million. So maybe Osimhen they'll say 15 million euros. So that the fans say, oh, we made offer. They made offer for him that he didn't want to come. Greedy. So, but anyway, so that's it. So a lot of Nigerian players have made moves this season. Ife Oluwa, I really want to see that boy come good. Someone was in the comments, oh, he doesn't play like JJ. Oh, JJ, why am I overhyping him? I will hype any Nigerian player that is good. It's none of anybody that doesn't like him, like it. The player is good, I will hype the player. That's it. And when I say new JJ, it's not like he must play like everything like JJ or Kocha, do everything. No, he is a creative 10. He has some skill as well. He can score goals. So it's just for him now. He's gone to that God bread to show us that, oh, I played well in Nigerian grassroots. Now I've gone to this club. I'm going to show that I can meet the level of that club and progress, even further. The same thing with Oluwa, gone to AIK Stockholm. Okay, yes, you played well for Beyond Limits. Now you've joined this European club. Okay, show yourself there. Shedrack Egbo, yes, you've left Nigerian grassroots football. You're on tryout there. You go and impress. If they sign you, boom, then you can show them that, yes, I can be the Zadok that you sold. Things like that. So, yeah, I want to see these 2 boys because it's an area with lack players. This Oluwa and Ife Oluwa, I want to see them do well for their clubs, and maybe they can be 2030, can have an option of having that 10. That creative 10 behind the strikers as well. So, and we've come to the end of this video. Thank you, Shemu, for joining the video. Thank you so much. I thank Sombrero FC11 for joining. See you on another video, my brother. Take care. God bless. And then Sombrero FC11, thank you for joining the show as well. See you on another video. Taye Okunade, thank you so much for joining the show as well. People that joined. Chief as well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Sombrero FC11. Thank you so much for us who joined. Keep subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos as well. And then just mention this as well, we'll be having post-match reaction for Premier League games when the Premier League season starts. Your eyes peeled on the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your gift and support. Thank you so much. And I will most definitely see everyone on another video. Stay well and stay blessed. And also, make sure you watch the shots and react to them as well, because there's one I did for a Chelsea review video I created. I just used technology to create a video for Baco's review. Go watch that one. Trying to add some creativity, some dynamism, some storytelling in the shots. Go enjoy them as well. More, and so we'll be having more Nigeria football update, looking at more transfers as they happen. And at the end of the transfer window, we'll be having a bigger show where we'll be having a full roundup of all the games, of all the transfers that have happened, and we will rate them as it happens. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll be rating all these ones as well. Sombrero FC11, thank you once again. And for those who are new, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on another video. Stay well, stay blessed. Peace.